Bitcoin. Extra, extra, read all about it.
Hey, what's happening? Welcome back to episode number 2 of Wolf of Coinstreet. You might be saying, hey, Wolf, it's been a while. It's been a crazy roller coaster ride in the crypto world. Where you been? Well, I've been busy. If you're listening to the media, it's saying we're getting hammered. Crypto's getting hammered. And you're saying, why, Wolf, if I jumped in with you now, my positions would be down. God, no, you'd still be up 300%. I mean, if you'd sold to the top, you'd have been out about 2,000 to 4,000%, depending on which one you were in. Even now, currently, 300%. That's better than every bank. But you say, why can we trust you, Wolf? What do you bring to the table? Taco Bell. I'm a Taco Bell aficionado. Cheesy double beef burrito, cheesy potato burrito. Probably one of the best things on the item. $2.59 though. Okay, here's a little Wolf of Coinstreet secret. You get the beefy Frito burrito. You pay 50 cents extra. You get the potatoes inside of it. Not only did you just get the burrito you saved $1 for, you got Fritos too. Okay, I'm saving you 40% on a burrito. Let me make you 40% in some dinero. Let's take a peek at our gem from last episode, Ripple. Donated $29 million to DonorsChoose.org, which allows teachers to place, chits for field trips, books, supplies, any number of things. These are, shortfalls in public schooling budgets that teachers usually come out of pocket for, funded by cryptocurrencies that are supposedly bankrupt. You got Goldman Sachs-backed Circle, so a stock firm, stock trading platform, bought Poloniex for $400 million. Poloniex does $159 million of trading volume a day. So on the one hand, they're saying, cryptos are volatile, they're dangerous. Well, why are they spending $400 million to buy one of their platforms? And it's the 5th largest, mind you. Poloniex is not even the largest platform. I hear this all the time. Well, what's Bitcoin's value? What's Bitcoin? Bitcoin doesn't have value. It's a novelty item at this point. 21 million is all they're ever going to be. 17 million are in circulation, and they're printing out the next 4 million over the next 100 years. And mining costs are getting more and more expensive each time. So you got to imagine, most of these were lost. People thought Bitcoin was worthless, so a lot of them are never coming back. So when you think of Bitcoin, think of that as a novelty item. It's still going to be worth $100,000, and like McAfee said, and I back him up with the dick-eating thing of my own, if it's not over $100,000, he'd eat his own dick. It's not about Bitcoin. That's the point. That's the forks, the derivatives of it. Bitcoin will be a novelty item, but it's one of its forks, Bitcoin Cash, just got accepted by BitPay. All those little kiosks you see at every stupid place where you're paying with your Apple, your Visa, or whatever else, except the transaction fees are way cheaper. So as Visa's charging you more and more to each time you tap your phone to go through it, why would you not use a gateway like Ripple or Bitcoin Cash? One of my favorites of the ICO list, it was about Q3, was Wager. Decentralized sports betting. Don't really need to say more. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, but I shall. Okay, so why Wager? You say, one of the biggest problems we have with online gambling is provably fair gaming. When you're in Nevada or Atlantic City or wherever the hell you're going, they got a gaming commission. They can go in anytime, plug in the machine. It's just an algorithm, make sure it's hitting when it's supposed to. Online, how do you make sure that little ball is landing when it's supposed to on the roulette wheel, or you're getting blackjack when you're supposed to? With cryptocurrency and decentralized betting, so dApps, decentralized apps, you basically got a provably fair system. You can download the log and make sure every single time it landed on 00 it was supposed to. It's provably fair. You can actually pinpoint down to the rolls as fair could be for randomness online. What does it mean for a person that holds Wager? Say you don't gamble. I'm not gambling. The hell do I want Wager for? They placed $750 million on bets from the Conor McGregor-Mayweather fight on an app that nobody knows of. But let's say you don't. You don't gamble. You're just going to hold them. Well, what good are they, right? Every single time that a bet is placed against the house and the house wins, which is not all the time, but it's more often than not because the house always wins, the wager that is bet is burned. So your value, it's constantly decreasing. Now, obviously, when it's bet against the blockchain and somebody pays out, the blockchain generates it and pays out. But more often than not, more wagers getting burned than getting produced because the house is winning more and more and more and more and more. The value of your wager goes up. The other ICO gem we're going to talk about, and this is my personal favorite, is Tezos. Largest ICO to date, $250 million. But with Ethereum and Bitcoin's run, because that's what most ICOs are purchased in, it went upwards of $1.2 billion and is now settled at $500 million. So if you're an ICO investor, you're sitting on a $500 million company. You're just sitting on just because that's the value of Bitcoin, Ethereum that's in it. The money's sitting on. And there's been a lot of speculation. It took them a while to get off the ground. They're building, an entire ecosystem. That's what people don't get. Ethereum didn't just come out and become worth $1,000. It was you're perpetually building a system, and dApps are just now getting built on Ethereum. But why Tezos over Ethereum? Why Tezos over Bitcoin? Well, we've had Ethereum and Bitcoin fork. I'm not going to get into the forking of it, but it's basically that, okay, they've negotiated, there's a problem, this will solve it. What Tezos does is it went from a proof of work system, which is the mining intensive, the electricity intensive aspects of mining, and it's proof of stake. So the coin holders are now what the verification is. It's a much more efficient system. That's why Ethereum's switching over. Now it doesn't have to switch. Tezos gets to jump out, roll out with provably fair systems, and you say, okay, but why does that matter? If you're on a game and there's a bug, right? After somebody presses A in a game a billion times, one time you press A and oops, it accidentally pressed C. Just a little bug in the system doesn't mean anything. Well, it means something in the financial world. It means something in systems where you can never have that mistake. And now with Tezos, you can actually test your systems and make sure that they're concise to the function. It doesn't matter if a billion times that the transactions took through. It's not actually changing. Ethereum's switching over to this. So now you've got a system already built, now going through a whole chain over and switch over. I don't know which is going to survive. dApps, Tezos, I really don't. It's like Netscape or AOL. You don't really know where it's going to go. They might both get absorbed. They might both be worthless one day. But they might make people a lot of money in the long run. What I do know is what Tezos is the end game of Bitcoin, which is what Bitcoin Cash is. The end game of Ethereum, so proof of stake now instead of proof of work. One of the ICOs I missed out on and have since fell in love with is Decentraland. It's an online virtual world. And you might be saying, Wolf, I'm no gamer. Think Ready Player One. Think scalable, massive online worlds where you as a parcel owner actually owns everything that goes on in your virtual world. 3,000 square foot little parcel, you can do whatever you want. Build online brothels, online casinos. They had a land sale at the beginning of the year. Over $10 million purchased for land parcels. There's casino land, brothels, there's business districts, and you might be thinking this is absurd. Have you ever heard of a little game called Second Life? Boasts 11 million monthly users? Yeah. Well, back in 2006, Second Life was having so much purchase. These are people wearing Gucci own stores in Second Life. These are real world companies that own stores in Second Life that people pay real money for. Okay, so much money's going in and out of Second Life, 2006, that banks and exchanges start popping up. Well, money's pouring and pouring through. By 2008, one bank went under, and it had been doing predatory practices that would not be allowed in the real world, but it had went under with $700,000 of real world money. Second Life said, okay, Linden Labs cut it, and said, okay, no more purchasing, no more things like that. That's an example of one, too good to be true. You probably shouldn't live with it, even the virtual world or the real world. But lesson two is that, hey, that was a regulatory oversight. People didn't really control what they owned in Second Life. These virtual worlds are totally different. Decentraland, Mana, is a totally different world. One where you own everything that is in your area. People can walk through. It's perfectly scalable. This is the future of gaming. The final coin we're going to talk about here on Wolf of Coinstreet is BitShares. And I don't even know if you could really call it a coin. It's more of it's a financial software company. They handle a whole bunch of different kind of solutions. They'll process decentralized asset exchanges. They're banking, lending. You can't. It's an exchange itself. You cannot really wrap BitShares up. What they offer is DAX, decentralized asset companies. You can, set your company up on BitShares. It'll actually produce shares, manage profits, and then distribute profits to shareholders. These are all integrated in. You can do smart coins. Smart coins are basically coins that are tied to oil, coins that are tied to the US dollar, to gold, to any number of assets. So you can actually trade specifically in those assets. And all of these assets on BitShares are backed by double the amount of trading volume. So these are offline wallets, cold storage wallets, that you can go on and you can check and make sure that the amount of money, so $100 million is being traded in let's say they're USD thing, which is, that's more like that $5 million. But let's say it is $5 million. And so you can go online and check their cold storage wallet, and $10 million is backing it. So if you have $10 million backing to make sure that $5 million is being traded 1-to-1 to the US dollar, well, you can fucking guarantee that you're going to be okay if there's any ever kind of, which is, I guess, what everyone's big fear is with the Mt. Gox hacks. Yeah, it sucked at first. If you were part of the Mt. Gox thing and now you're just getting what your wallets were worth when you were hacked, yeah, you should probably have them $100 million and they're only giving you fucking $100,000. Hey, it sucks to be you. You shouldn't have kept your shit on an exchange. But as we're getting more and more secure, we're starting to realize that's what people didn't want. I guess it's a different era. I never trust anything. Who the fuck would keep their entire nest egg on something that you really can't? Now, at least with companies like BitShares, you can at least have okay, hey, I got my 5 mil on there. It's being traded. If it all got wiped, there's 10 in a cold storage wallet to back up to make sure that none of us are hosed. These are, I guess, these are the most peer-owned exchanges you could ever have. That is a peer exchange. It's a peer lender. You can't even sum up BitShares. Scoop it up. Scoop it up. It went from 8 cents all the way up to 80. It's settling back down to 30. Scoop it. That one's going to be a big one. And like I said, it's undescribable. So if I sound like I'm at a loss for words, it's because it's a different kind of asset. And it's one that's been in production for 4 years. It's not like Tezos or Ethereum where they're coming out and they're, this has actually been tried, true, and put through the stressor test and now is being laid out for you. And guys, I hate to say goodbye, but because this is what I got to do. Till next time. The Wolf, to you, let's make some money. Let's make some ducats. Trust your boy. And if the least you took out of this, go save 40% of Taco Bell. Till next time.